Are you ready to rock?
Are
Cool. Yeah, I'm always prepared. You lean on me, right? When you're not strong.
not again.
Okay,
We're not going to sing this one again.
We did that one. We did that one before. Okay, well, try not to repeat things. Right, I mean that would be just really boring. Right, so unless people request it,
Encore.
unless someone writes, "Will you sing that for us? Because it was so good," which is not going to happen ever. Ever. So there we go. Practical parenting. Welcome back. An hour of powerful information. Maybe more. Maybe less.
Maybe some dancing.
We're overexposed now.
I told you that.
The light is too bright.
I told you, but we were like this before.
Were we?
Yeah.
Were we?
Before when we did the retro black and white.
Should I try to move the light? Are we too bright?
Oh, I'm always bright. Ha 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 ha.
Is that better?
I don't know. Is that better?
There's no one there. Is that better? I don't know. We can have the light down.
No, it's okay.
Is it okay like that? It's okay. The light is now pointing up at the ceiling.
No, you can point it back at me.
No, you're already overexposed. Like people can see your people can see your shoulders. She's bought 007 license.
Oh, was I supposed to cover up my shoulders?
Yeah, the same way that I did.
Are they too?
We've got matching shoulders. Like we've got we dressed black and white. We even dressed in black.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at how. I was just admiring how nice you look on the camera there.
Thank you.
And I was thinking how I look like I've just crawled out of a cave somewhere.
That's because your beard just looks so black. You can't see the white strands in it at all.
The wise parts. The wise
parts.
The wisdom markers. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. The signs of experience. Yeah. You can't. Yeah, they're well hidden. most people don't know that I've got any experience of anything at all.
It's there, guys. You just need to dig.
We're back inside today because
outside is dark.
It's dark and probably cold as well. So we're hanging out inside with a little bit of Moana
and the three little pigs.
You can't call them that. The three little darlings.
Oh, the three little.
Positive.
There's something else. There's three little of no.
There's 3 bears.
3 bears.
There's 3 bears, but you need Goldilocks.
Right.
There's 3. Anything you want. 3
little ducklings. No.
All in a row. I've just made up them.
It's something like those the 99 bottles of beer on the wall, right?
How does that go?
I don't know. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure you can sing it with ducklings too.
But you can't. You've got to have positive names for the kids. We talked about name calling before, right? It's all got to be positive.
Yes, I meant it in a positive way, of course.
Even if Zora is sitting over there ramming her finger up her nose off the camera, trying to obviously. Well, you know how it goes. Doesn't get that from me. I never put my finger up my nose.
So he says. Anyway, so what are we going to talk about today, my darling? Because
we're in front of the bookshelf, and we're going to cover a couple of subjects. I can't read my writing over there, so I've got no idea what they are.
Would you like me to bring it closer for you?
No, I will focus and I will get there. Yeah, I've uploaded the first 6 or 7 practical parenting episodes. Something negative. I did episode,
about practical parenting
to YouTube. The YouTube channel is like going through the roof right now. It's quite incredible. I'm getting 10 subscribers a day now.
Ooh.
And I don't know why. I really don't know why. And I don't know what they're watching. I don't know what they're watching. Unless every single person is watching the Jordan Peterson information.
Shouldn't it show you what they're watching or something? Don't you have some kind of stats?
When someone subscribes, I don't think you can see what they watched that made them subscribe. which would be a key piece of information. You can
That
see
would.
so many people visited, you can see what so many people watched, but you can't, put all the tiny little pieces of
Do
data
people watch your
together.
Did you share some Gatto videos on your
I have
YouTube channel?
I have one of the best collections of Gatto's work on the internet. I also have researched and searched the Gatto information, John Taylor Gatto, and there are uploads on my channel that don't exist anywhere else on the planet.
I
And
highly
I
recommend
found some.
everybody who is interested in parenting and teaching
Got the books.
to check out the Gatto videos because they're brilliant.
They are. Well, a lot of them are audio, actually, because I just chose to upload it in audio format. I'm sorry, it's not going to be in video, but it was about quality. It was about focusing on the quality of the audio, because some of them were recorded, they were like recorded in submarines or something. I don't know. It's just that his
Public
his
toilets.
public
maybe.
toilets. Maybe one of some of the early ones, right? It's the work of John Taylor Gatto, and you'll find, I think there's 8, 9, maybe 10. There's one special unique section of playlist just for Gatto's work because it's so incredible. And on my computer, I've got about another 20 that I want to upload. I've been telling myself, I've got to get more up, and so hopefully that will happen eventually. You also need to check out, who is it? Tragedy and Hope online. Tragedy and Hope is a YouTube channel, and they did the 5-hour Gatto interview. Which goes into makes all the connections in history, in the history of education. All the key players are mentioned there, and you can see how education developed over the last couple of 100 years, which is pretty cool.
Hello?
What is this doing here? I've just noticed. What is this?
Your mum
What?
sent that to me.
My mother
Yes.
sent you a picture of you.
Yes. But because
Hello.
I had my photo album with me there
In Scotland.
in Scotland.
Scotland.
The land of the brave, the home of the free.
That's America.
That's not Scotland.
No, it's America.
It could be Scotland though.
They probably stole it from Scotland, actually.
Yeah.
The Scots that founded America, anyway. I mean, just look back at it. Look at the
Scots founded everything.
We did.
Anyway.
we ruled the world. I've got a book about
This must have gotten ripped out of the album, and she sent it
when
to me
Scotland ruled the
today.
world. You see, more inventors, and scientists, and philosophers. Yeah, we've got. Is it Rutherford? Samuel Rutherford, wasn't he Scottish as well?
You know about the very.
You wouldn't have anything if it wasn't from Scotland. You wouldn't have bicycles, okay? Patrick McMillan. You wouldn't have the television. Television was John Logie Baird. You wouldn't have
John Yogi Bear.
I'm going to ignore that comment.
Okay.
You wouldn't have the telephone, Alexander Graham Bell. You wouldn't have a lot of modern engineering. You wouldn't have the materials on the roads.
You wouldn't have the iron coffins.
Yep. You wouldn't have.
The guy who built the.
What?
No, the guy who built the iron bridge in Edinburgh. What was his name?
John.
John. Well, the
John
guy.
Smith.
Apparently, the guy who built the big iron bridge in Edinburgh also made iron coffins. Or no, oh wait, no,
You just
he
made
didn't
that
make
up,
them.
didn't you?
He was
He was born.
buried in an iron coffin? I don't remember. I just remember there was something with an iron coffin connected to that guy. He's probably buried
His
in
friends
one.
probably locked him in one, welded it shut, and threw him in the Firth of Forth. Anyway, I was going to mention something else that was really whiskey.
That is really important.
It's very important. You wouldn't have whiskey without Scotland. Can you imagine?
Like, you wouldn't even have Irish whiskey,
You wouldn't
right? Not even American whiskey. Those would not exist without Scotland.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, they probably just borrowed the recipes,
Right.
and didn't give them back or something.
You wouldn't have sheep stomachs filled with guts.
With sheep,
Yeah,
parts of sheep.
filled with the sheep's inside.
Called haggis, unless you're in France.
Yeah, you wouldn't have
Call it
golf.
Haggis. What?
You wouldn't have people wandering around golf courses.
You wouldn't have people wandering around parks with clubs swearing, right?
Exactly. Or riding those little funny carts because they're too
fat.
big to walk.
Too fat to walk.
Yeah.
Too stupid to breathe. I've seen those people. Yeah, it's a bit like that. You know, golf is an excellent way to lose weight. It's a great recreational activity for the aged, and it
is actually. It's like 4 hours of brisk walking.
Didn't I try to teach you how to play golf at one point? Didn't I take you out on the golf course?
You did. I did 2 hours of brisk walking and trying to hit the ball, but he kept saying, go on, they're waiting for us. There's some people behind us. There are people queuing, and you go on, you have to be faster.
You didn't keep up the pace. You were too slow.
That's
There's
because
nothing worse on a golf
took me about
course
9 tries to hit a hole.
Then you don't, because you don't hit holes in golf. Balls. Right?
You hit the ball
Into
in the hole.
holes.
That's what I meant. Stop talking about golf.
No,
Start
look,
talking about something interesting.
I just know. Well, I noticed I was thrown off by the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Got cream up here as well. What's cream doing here? You know what I really wanted to talk about? I wanted to give a piece of advice.
Okay.
Right, I've got this here. This is Swedish bitter, apparently.
Yes.
Dr. Zeus. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Dr.
What is that?
Thice.
Thice. Dr. Thice. But we're not sponsored in any way by any of these. But I've got a bit of a kind of dodgy stomach, and apparently the stuff is really good.
It is.
If you've got a problem with your stomach.
It is very good. It's the Swedish herbs in alcohol.
Is there alcohol in it?
And it's... Yes.
He said unknowingly.
Of course there is alcohol. It's a tincture.
I don't drink.
It's a tincture of a mixture of herbs that are very good for your stomach.
You're right. Tink what?
Sure.
Who's that? Tinkerbell.
It's not Tinkerbell, no.
No. Is that her cousin?
And it's not only is good for the stomach, but it's also good for when you've got like strained muscles, you know, or
you can drink
kind
lots
of
of it
problems. No. You put you put it on a cloth.
I thought it was like a sandwich.
Pop it on.
Put it in a sandwich. No?
It's also good for when you've got inflammation in your teeth.
Rub it on.
Yeah.
Why would you want to do
basically.
that?
You don't rub it on. You just you put a plaster. What do you call it? Compress.
Compress,
something?
a wet cloth.
Yeah.
A compress. That's a lovely word. Compress.
There you go.
It's very I don't know, medical, I suppose. Right. Anyway, I'm gonna have a quick sip.
Swag.
Swig.
Swig.
You swagged instead of swig.
Is there a big difference between a swag and a swig?
Swag is what you steal. Stolen stuff, isn't it? Swag is things that you've stolen.
Well, you've stolen that from me, so there you go. Have a swig from your swag.
Yeah, this is just to settle my stomach.
It's not my cooking. It's not.
No idea what's going on with that. I think I might have picked up some bug at the pool. Anyway.
That's enough for you. That's enough for you. You're gonna fall off the stool.
It's good stuff. Right. Anyway, I don't drink, so this is gonna probably have a very powerful effect on my brain. Anyway, cleared the stuff off the shelf. That's good.
So
I made the YouTube channel. Things are going. It's great. I can't keep up with it. So many good videos. Over 1,000 videos related to education and learning and philosophy and psychology and just generally, how to be a better person and build a better future, which is just super cool.
And here we are making another one.
Yeah, well, never enough, right? With good things, never enough. So I made this little cover for us on YouTube, and I wanted to be kind of cool, and trendy. So it's like a practical parenting, and I made the graphic, and it was like with Yanka and G, and I was like, that just doesn't it doesn't look right graphically, right? And it just didn't have that punch. You got to have that punch when you're doing.
My name
stuff.
doesn't look right graphically.
It didn't fit, right? So I changed it to, and I was thinking, like, if I'm using the first letter of my name, I could use the first letter of your name. So it says Practical Parenting with J and G. And I didn't ask you if that was okay, but it's there. So thank you for agreeing to that. I really appreciate that. It's very nice of you.
Right. You're very welcome.
Right.
You're welcome.
Because you're going to see it at some point in time and go, what's
Probably.
Yes.
Probably.
Or you're
They're
going
like, who?
Who's
What?
Jay?
He was
Who's
doing
that?
something with
What?
somebody else?
What? Nah. Right.
Okay.
Right. So moving on. What have we got? I got some stuff that I want to talk about. That's what I've got.
Good.
And this is related to the Pinterest page that I have, and I have a couple of different boards on on Pinterest, and learning issues is one of those, which is really cool. I've got one about grammar and language, which is really cool. We also have one about peaceful parenting, and what I thought we would take a little bit of a look at today is what's called common thinking biases.
Common thinking biases. That's something new for me. What is it?
Okay, so a bias is when you don't really have a balanced thought process, right? You are listing to one side or the other, like that with your thoughts. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if it's affecting you, it's affecting your decisions, and it's going to affect your decisions in your family, and it's going to maybe affect your children's future as well, because the kids are going to pick up your habits. So if you're not aware of logical thinking problems or processes, then if you're not aware of the language you're using, you're going to run into a couple of problems, basically.
So what are the common thinking biases then? Let me see if I have any of those.
Okay, so we've got 9. We might not get through all 9, but we'll have a go.
How deep are you intending to go?
Well, there's about 40. Okay.
Oh.
There's basically about 40 different thinking biases that exist psychologically.
Right.
And I've noticed these with my clients and my students, that they have these thought processes that they think are perfectly logical, and you listen to what they say, you stop, you repeat it back to them, you point out that this and this are in opposition, and they stop and go, oh, no one's ever said that to me before. And then they can check their own thinking. And when your thinking is logical, it prevents problems. You don't get stuck in a rut of the same thing happening again and again, and you can get on with life. You can get to the next level. You can get to the next step.
So give us some
Practical example.
examples.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Bias number 1. We've got confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is paying more attention to people or ideas that you agree with.
Oh, that's a typical problem with Facebook and social networks in general, isn't it? You've got the confirmation bias all the time because the way Facebook works, it's only going to throw things that resonate with you your way, right? Because that's the Facebook advertisement. That's how the whole principle works.
Well, you link to people who have similar likes to you.
So you just go deeper and deeper in the same thing, basically.
Well, it's like if you have a mirror in front of you and a mirror behind you, where are you going?
I'm going juicing. Yes.
Put it on this side. It's better, right? So if you have a mirror in front of you and a mirror behind you, and you look into the mirror, it's like the endless mirrors.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's kind of what Facebook is like when you link to people who only have the same interests as you. You just end up looking into the same endless mirror, and you don't see anything new.
And when you find somebody that you don't agree with, you just remove him.
Defriend them, dislike them. I don't know what you do. Unfriend them.
So you're not forced.
Disconnect. Whatever you do.
You're not forced to be confronted with the fact.
Yeah, and you can't really debate on that kind of forum either, because you can't make any intellectual statement in like one sentence that's going to persuade anybody of anything. It's kind of pointless. So I've heard people call it the digital gulag, basically, which is people are separated into their little camps, and they stay there, and they wonder why there are problems in the world, because they and their friends have solved everything because they all have the same opinions and ideas. So so how do you get around it? How do you get over it? I mean, obviously you need to talk to a diverse range of people before you make any decisions. It's really hard to do, but you need to reach out to people who maybe you don't usually agree with and get their feedback on the situation.
Do you know what I usually do when I'm when I like some kind of idea, right? And I want to make sure that it makes sense for me. Not only I look at the idea itself, but I look for arguments on the other side that could change my opinion about that thing. You know what I mean? I mean, for example, say homeschooling, yeah? I was presented this idea of homeschooling, and I researched everything about homeschooling and all the positives and negatives and whatever. But then I went to the other side, yeah? And I would look up on the internet the negatives of homeschooling. Why shouldn't I homeschool? And I looked at those arguments as well and see if they were in any way valuable or,
Yeah, that's a really good way to look at things. It's also quite difficult as well to read things that maybe you don't necessarily agree with, right?
Well, it's good to know. It's good to know the negatives.
It's a sign
if they're valid, it's good to know about them so that you can work with that, right?
Well, that's a scientific method. The scientific method is testing the theories, pushing the limits. Intellectual people and intelligent people, they can hold contrasting ideas in their own mind and analyze them without subscribing to those particular views. It's a very interesting thought experiment to do inside yourself, to try to imagine how somebody else sees the world.
Yes.
Because we've got an idea of how they see the world, but we don't know exactly. Like I don't know how you see it. Sometimes I wonder, how do you see the world? Yeah. Well, what's your perspective? And sometimes it's just like I've just got this picture, just like a white sheet of paper in my mind. I'm like, I'm not sure how she sees it. I'm not sure.
What's in bright colors? A lot of pink.
Oh, okay. Well, like a couple of rainbows and unicorns and stuff.
Yes. A little bit of glitter on the side.
All right. Well, that's kind of nice. Now I've got a better idea.
There you go.
Now I've got a much better idea. Okay.
So what other biases do we have there?
We've got the halo effect. The second cognitive thinking bias is the halo effect. Your overall impression of someone is influenced by one part of their character. You like one part of something, and so you tend to think that everything connected with that is great. When maybe it's not.
I've got the same problem about people, but I've got it from the other way around. When I dislike something, I tend to just
dislike everything,
not go there. So So I do that. I do that on a negative type, and I know that I do that, and I know that I shouldn't do that, because nothing is black or white, right? Apart from us.
Right, as it goes. Because the reason why we're black and white is because I don't like the colour of the wall. There we go.
Behind us. Because it's kind of...
Because I'm a pedantic motherfucker.
What is that?
Right.
What is that?
It's a bookshelf, darling.
No, I'm looking at the colour.
Those are books. You read them. What?
The colour.
What?
What would you call the colour?
What's going on? Hello?
It's like a mustard. No, it's not even mustard.
Mustard. It's not mustard. It's an undescribable colour.
White coffee. It's cappuccino.
Yeah, it is.
It's cappuccino colour. There you go.
Good nondescript cappuccino colour. Anyway, is that important? So, we let one part of something. It's let's take an example. Just because you have one you go to a restaurant, just because you have like one good meal in the restaurant, it doesn't mean they always serve good food.
Yes.
Right? And so you have to be able to constantly refresh the ideas through your own mind. And to analyze the fact that, he might be a genius at driving cars, but you don't want to take advice about mortgages from him or something like that. Right?
Or play Scrabble with him or something.
Yeah. Or
Dance.
lend your donkey to him or something. I don't know.
I don't have a donkey.
Good, because we've got no space for one. Right, with 3 little dinosaurs running around. Anyway, right, we've done 2, so we have done. I should have my professor's voice. Okay, so we have the confirmation bias, and we've done the halo effect. And I could do one of those TED Talks.
Okay.
Where they
don't know what that was. Sorry.
That was like a weak Angelina Jolie, I want to be Tomb Raider kind of
I'm not sure where that came from.
Okay. So anyway, right, with my TED Talk, the next confirmation, thinking bias, that affects how we look at the world. It's going to like one of the nature documentaries.
You sound like you can't breathe properly.
It's the medicine.
So what's the third confirmation bias? Come on, give it to us.
It's called the Hawthorne effect.
Hawthorne.
Yes, if someone knows that they're...
As in Nathaniel Hawthorne.
Who was a famous character from...
Wasn't he a writer?
Wasn't he a character in an Ayn Rand novel?
I don't know. I thought he was a writer.
Yeah?
I don't know. I don't have my phone. I would Google it.
You're just coming out with random things that might or might not be factual.
Yeah, it's just a name. So what's the Hawthorne effect?
It's what I was talking about in the preamble, right?
Uh-huh.
When we were doing a little test to see if the mics work, right? Yeah. I was talking about if you turn on the camera, people suddenly change, because you were talking about like I was all new, and I turned on the camera, and then I was like, oh, let's be. Let's all trumpets and let's be. It's called the Dead Sea Tupperware effect.
Okay.
The Robin Williams effect. Robin Williams talked about the fact that he always felt that he had to be +1, that he could never be himself because people always expect him to be outrageous all of the time and really funny, and that he was outrageous and really funny when it was called for in his work, but he didn't want to be like that all the time. But people had this kind of public image that he was like that all the time, and apparently it got to him, and it was really frustrating.
Who was that?
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. That's funny because
the guy who hung himself.
Did he? Of course, he hung himself.
He hung himself.
That's so sad.
And also, he was the person in the Bobby McFerrin video. It was Bobby. You know that horrible song from the 80s that everybody loves. That
Which one?
Do 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 do. Don't worry.
Oh, that one. Yes. Your anti-anthem.
I hate that, because when people say to me, "Don't worry," I'm going to add that to my list of things that I hate that people say.
You've got a list of things that you hate that people say.
Yes, they get on my nerves because it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't deal with anything, and the other person is extremely satisfied that they said it, and it's completely useless and unhelpful.
If I want to wind you up, I'm just going to go.
No, so when people say, "Don't worry, be happy," it's like, I'm like, what do you mean? When I have a problem to solve.
My chameleon is dying and you're telling me to be happy. For example, right?
Yeah. My car's just been totaled, and you're saying, "Don't worry." I'm like, no, I know, it's like all the stuff I have to do now to solve this problem. Oh my God, no! As I fall into an endless abyss. Right. I've got a list
happens
here.
About twice a day.
I thought at least that's what you
falling
see.
into the endless abyss.
That's what you see. You don't see what I have to go outside and bang my head on the ground.
and fall into about 3 more abysses.
Yes, abysses. I've got a list here of phrases that annoy me that I was going to...
Things I hate. It's like that movie, right? 10 things I hate about you. You've got
I don't know
10
that
things I hate about people.
Is that what that's about?
You don't know that movie?
I don't know that movie. How is that possible?
Seriously.
How is it possible you know something that I don't about films?
Because it was like... It was the teenager movie.
When you were a teenager.
When I was a teenager and you were an old fart. That's why I don't know it.
There's 10 years difference between us, which is just fine from my perspective, except for the fact that when you were watching those teenage movies, I was like saying, "Oh God, look, there's another one of those silly, ridiculous teenage movies."
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. That was your grunge period, probably.
You were watching the teenage movies, and I was stumbling home at 3 a.m. from the rock club.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Or death metal club.
Actually, 3 a.m. would have been really early.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. I was probably going from one club to another club at 5 or 6.
Oh, we have to watch it at some point. It's a good movie. Go on, edit it on the list to the My Fair Lady.
Okay.
Where is your to watch list?
MFL needs My Fair Lady. Okay.
10 things I hate about
I
you.
downloaded that. Anyway.
That's a really cheesy.
What's it called? What's it called?
10 things I hate about you.
10 things I hate.
Yes, about you.
10 things I hate. That'll just go. 10
Yes.
things I hate. Has anyone seen 10 things I hate? Is it good? Is it any good
It's
at all?
really cheesy
did
and
you like it?
gooey and teenagery. You're gonna hate it.
Is it better than The Breakfast Club?
Probably not. I can't remember The Breakfast
You
Club.
haven't probably seen The Breakfast Club, have you?
I'm not sure. I think I have. I think I watched it together. Wasn't it about those boys in that private school?
It wasn't a private school. It was a normal school. They all have to spend Saturday in detention together. The Breakfast Club.
Oh yeah, that one. Yes.
It's got the Simple Minds song. Don't you forget about me in it.
I remember.
Don't you forget about me.
I don't know if it's as good as that. Probably not.
Hey, I want recommendations for films for us to watch. I want recommendations. So please write in the chat.
You got a recommendation yesterday to watch The History of the Tiger.
Is that what it was called? I forgot.
Yes.
I instantly forgot what he was talking about.
I remember these things.
That's why you're here.
That's why you need me.
Of course. History of the Tiger.
Because even though I forget everything,
It's a Czech film.
constantly.
It's a Czech film, apparently, isn't it? History of the
Yes.
Tiger. Right. Okay. Super cool. So I'm not sure quite how we got diverted onto that, but
Me neither. So the third bias was the Hawthorne bias.
yeah, if someone knows that they are being observed or monitored, it can alter their behavior. So
Yeah.
people don't behave the same way when people are watching them as when people as when they're alone, basically.
You know what? There's
What?
an interesting thing that I read on the internet, because I read a lot of things on the internet, random stuff, like all those disorganized people with attention problems do. And I have read that
Right.
when employees had the picture of an eye or eyes, or just pictures with eyes, in their environment, they performed better because they felt observed.
Wow.
Yeah, there were
That's
studies that
crazy.
confirmed it, right? So you put a lot of pictures of, I don't know, people with eyes or just eyes, or
Or people's heads, or it could just be paintings, or like that kind of
Yes.
all-seeing eye
yes,
thing.
or like a Picasso-esque thing with eyes. Doesn't
kinda
matter, just eyes.
schizophrenic
And people
alcoholic.
subconsciously perform better because they feel observed.
Wow.
Cool, huh?
Does that work on computers as well? Because it's got a little camera on top of it. Do you think?
I don't think so. I think it works on biological level. You know, I think people haven't had cameras long enough for it to work. But maybe it does. Maybe if you consciously see, you know, that, oh my gosh, there are cameras around me and people are watching me, then you would do that. But those eye posters work on a subconscious level.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. You know, I'm kind of for cameras because I think that there's less crime and less people sneaking around and doing bad stuff. You know, I'm for cameras on the streets because people, it solves the problem of he said, she said. Right? You just go to the camera,
To a certain
you
extent,
watch,
yeah.
you watch it, you can see what happened. It just solves that. It just solves so many problems. And I know in my life when I've had a problem and I've got the mobile phone and I'm just like, click it, turn it on, record what's happening, I'm okay because I know that I've got something that I can rely on instead of somebody's word which might
Although
change.
talking about
or-
CCTV, right? I had a friend who had her handbag stolen and went to the police, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we can see that. You know, the owner of the bar is like, oh yeah, here's the cameras, and you can see the guy on the camera as well. Oh great, you see a guy in a hoodie, right? Let's go find
Hoodies
him."
are cool, right?
So
A black guy in a hoodie. Oh no, that's racist. Sorry. Gypsy in a hoodie. Right. Oh no, racist. Sorry, a white guy in a hoodie. Sorry.
yes, it was a white.
A white woman. Oh no, that's sexist. Oh God, it's so difficult.
A person.
A person. A person.
So you see
That's
a
what they have to.
person.
If you notice, that's what they have to say on the news now. It's like a person robbed a bank. It's like, well, that's useful. You know, that's gonna help the police. You know, usually they would put it on the news so with a picture and information so that people could help, like catch
Danny?
the bad guy. But, darling, you're tangled in all the cables there.
Oh,
Can you be
she's
careful, please?
okay. What's up, sweetie? What can I get for you? You know the rules.
Have you had, darling? Have you had muesli today? Well, there's a whole giant flat. You could go anywhere and do anything, but you have to come over here and kick the stand. Kids.
She did
Who
have
would want to have
muesli.
kids?
She did have
Oh.
muesli this morning. And we have an agreement that there's only going to be one bowl of muesli per day.
Mm-hmm.
But I have some nice sandwiches that I can make for you. Or you can have some ham. Have ham. Or you could have a raw bar. Bananas, apples, grapes, cheese. I've got those twisty little cheeses.
I'm getting hungry myself. I go for twisty little cheese. Darling! Oh! That was close.
I'm going to get a twisty little cheese, people.
Twisty little cheese. Can I have a twisty little cheese as well?
Only if you hold my things.
We're taking orders. If anybody wants anything from the kitchen, please write.
Twisty little cheese, people.
You can write in the chat and let us know. Are you attached to something? If you
to the cable. I've
you-
attached myself to the cable.
you're leaving me.
Yeah, I'm going to get twisty little cheeses.
Oh, you were doing very well today with all your little notes and things. Oh. Okay. Right. Well, Will, can you not kick a ball at me, please? Right. So, weird things happening in the background. I will try to stay focused. With my ball here. Right. So, this is actually really cool. A parenting tip, right? Get these really, went to a sports shop, got this soft foam ball, which is great for indoor games. You can bounce it off the floor. It doesn't make any noise at all. It's really great.
You won't be able to chew and talk at the same time.
Well, how are you gonna do it?
I'm not eating.
You're not eating.
No,
Well, it's very sensible.
I'm not eating. I'm making a video.
Yeah. So I was
How are you going to do it?
I was just advertising the ball. You get to go to
Advertising a foamy ball.
a foamy ball. It's great for indoor games. It's really cool.
Yeah, but it's been painted with some acrylic paints this morning when Zara was creating her robot
It
costume.
just looks like it's been shot.
Mhm.
Basically. Anyway, bye ball. Get rid of it. Right. See? Did you hear that? No. It's nice and silent. Doesn't disturb the neighbours. Not like a basketball would.
the silent ball.
Right. We did three. We did three thinking biases. We finished with the Hawthorne effect. The way to get around the fact that people change their habits when they're being observed is to long-term approach and make observations of others as discreet as possible. And it's one of the problems with job interviews, right?
Did you just tell people to talk?
Well, not in that kind of... Well, I didn't use that kind of language, but I guess that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
The job interviews, right? You can't possibly tell if someone is the right person from one short interview, or maybe even two, or maybe even three.
Well, maybe if you know your thing. I mean, maybe if you're a psychologist, then you can read their non-verbal communication.
You can cheat all that stuff, right? You can learn how to perform in the interview. You can learn the body language. You can
That's
learn
why
what
you
to
have
say.
the 3 months.
Okay.
What are you doing? That's why you have the
Stop there.
3-month testing period, right?
Mm-hmm. Will, would you like to ask something?
Can I have another stitching?
I can't.
This is what we're talking about, twisty, cheesy thingies. It's all about food today. Look at that.
That's cheese.
Used to be able to buy bubble gum like that. That's really unhealthy for kids as well. Right. Oh, it's smoked. Oh!
Put it back.
Oh, smoked. Smells like my grandmother. Right. Okay.
It's horrible.
So
So what's the fourth bias
the
then?
fourth bias is negativity bias, which is you pay more attention to and remember things that are negative rather than positive. I'll give you a great example for this. Yeah. Relationships, people's relationships when they finish. Something bad happens and the relationship is over, right? But probably about 95% of the relationship was fine.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, it's just some bad thing happened and they can't find a way to solve the problem and take a step forward, and so they can't get beyond it. So they're focusing on that one negative rather than all of the positivity and all the positive things.
Okay.
Right? So that's an example of negativity bias. Of course, that's just one example, right? You can find other examples of that, but a lot of people focus on the negative. I find myself trapped and tricked by that as well.
No.
I know this is coming as a bit of a
Bit of a surprise.
bit of a revelation there for you. But I've noticed I've noticed that it's like knock at the door. I'll be like, oh my God, who's that now? What kind of problem is this I have to deal with? And you know, it could be somebody coming just with the flowers to say, these are flowers for you for a great day, although it never has been.
Or with a cake. Like that neighbour that was hanging out the window before. Remember, right? There was a
That was live. That happened live.
Yeah, in one of the videos with a neighbour hanging out the window saying hi, and we were both thinking, "Oh my God, we're being too loud." He just stuck his head out to complain, because sometimes when you talk on the balcony, you know, you can hear it through the windows.
And we were kind of.
And I had that, yes. And I had that happening to me before when I was a student, when people would just, get on their balcony like 2 floors up.
Yeah, but you were being a student, right?
And just say, "Shut
No
up!"
idea what they're doing most of the time.
And no, he was just hanging out the window. He's just saying hi. We were like, "What's up?"
And he was just saying hi.
Nothing. He said nothing. I just wanted to say hi to my neighbours.
What a nice man.
That's what he said. Yes.
nice
And he said, "How are the kids? Say hello to them for me."
Yeah.
We don't know him at all, by the way. I met him about 3 times on the stairs. Very nice person.
There you
Maybe
go.
I should bake him a cake.
What you see, isn't that like one impression affecting your whole picture of
Yes.
the person?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, see that's a kind of thinking bias, right? I don't know. Maybe he's maybe he's chopping up dead bodies up there, and we don't know.
Maybe he is, but every time I met him on the stairs, it was very helpful and nice.
There was a British film about that. Mr. Jolly Lives Next Door.
Oh, there you go. Mr. Jolly lives upstairs.
It was kind of a kind of comedy horror film about the neighbour who's like supposed to be all nicey nice.
One of those British things, right?
Yeah.
You've got that kind of humour kind
Yeah,
of thing.
we do. I was looking at the old mobile phone here, right?
Yeah.
And it says Yanka Franikova is watching.
Yes.
And I was wondering if she's really watching or that's just frozen on the screen there, because I was wondering if somebody was going to write a comment or give us a thumbs up or a heart or a like or a smiley face or an angry face or communicate with us a little bit. And nothing, she hasn't done anything.
I had a really nice comment to the last video that we did, did yesterday by Susanna from Canada.
Okay. Yeah.
She commented that she commented about the topic that we discussed yesterday about going to the shop, right?
Okay.
When should children get independent? When should parents send them out?
My fears came out yesterday.
Yes, and she said that her and her husband share the same kind of fears like you do, because she said that where they live and
please.
in Canada, she said that they have a lot of posters of missing children and a lot of cases of abuse and horriblenesses going on. So she said that they are much more careful there, right? And
fear.
Yeah.
Fear.
And she's saying that her younger child, who was, I think you said he was 8 years old, didn't go out, by himself. Didn't show any interest in going out by himself. Okay, didn't come up with the idea yet. And the older kid, which I can quite calculate how old that was, has just started doing that.
Okay.
So
it's nice to have the interaction.
Both boys. Yeah, so that was an interesting point of view, and yes, absolutely, the safety of the environment must have a lot to do, with that kind of thing. I think that we're still quite safe around here. Although,
touch wood.
Although, don't fool yourself, right? You always have to be careful, but relatively.
Yeah, it only takes it's a really old saying. It only takes one grape to spoil the bunch, right?
Yeah.
It just takes one idiot to ruin the party.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. So you kind of you still have to be vigilant.
Yes. You can't rely on any false feelings of safety.
Absolutely. Moving on. Number 5.
Yes.
We've done 4. It's pretty amazing.
R.
5. R. You gotta find your.
I can't have that.
Your R sounds like.
It just sounded like a growl.
You're getting in touch with your inner self there.
Inner beast.
Beast mode. Be a lion. Right.
Stop it, or I'll do the booyah thing again.
Okay, bandwagon effect. The bandwagon effect. You tend to believe things more when other people believe them. The bandwagon effect. So let's take a crass example, right? Everybody's said that this film is great, so it has to be. So you look for great things in it, or what else? I mean, trends and fashions work like that, right? Right. More the kind of momentum builds up, and more people follow something, and then you have to try to understand what's going on with those trends. And also, there's a scientific study of how people react in groups. That if 9 out of 10 people in a group support a certain thing, the 10th person will probably lean towards the opinions of the other 9 rather than their own idea, just because they feel the effect. They don't want to be seen as entirely different from everybody else.
Yeah, you also kind of try to find. I observe in myself that I try to find common ground. If there are big differences, I still try to find something that is not different. So
You're always looking for common ground. That's what you're saying.
If I want to, if I like the person.
But then if there's so many things you don't like, you won't like the person, no?
Well, let's say this person has different opinions. Like, for example, say a friend we had in the village where we lived, we'd have a different opinion on education, right?
Okay.
They wouldn't homeschool, we would homeschool. We did the peaceful parenting, they didn't do the peaceful parenting. Well, I would look for common ground because I thought that she was a good person, right? And I would look for something that we would have in common where we can build a relationship.
And so what was that? What did you find? Nothing. Cooking recipes.
Cooking recipes. Exactly. Taking
Men
care
like
of
to sit
kids.
and watch sport together. Women like to talk about recipes. There you go.
No, we had a lot of common things to talk about. Just
can't remember
the
any of
usual
them.
thing. Just the
I don't know what that
child care.
What kind of nappies to buy for the kids? No?
You know, it's like we had some psychological subjects as well, and I don't know.
It's all very abstract.
It's a lot of
Something
things.
more concrete.
Well, I can't give you concrete examples of what we talked about. Okay.
Okay. Why not? Why can't you give me concrete?
Because it was a long time ago, and we talked so much.
Well, you should have more if
I
you
can't
talked a lot.
choose one single thing.
Do you want to come up here, darling?
Would you like to come here?
Come up here.
Would you like one more cheese?
Okay, you can sleep up here, darling. We can cuddle and then fall asleep, and then we'll all go to bed together. Would you like that? Okay.
Do you want me to take you to bed?
You can sleep up here. Get her to come up here. Come on. Get her. Lift her up here. Careful, she's going to pull the whole stand down and the lights.
Okay, sweetie.
Goes that way.
She wants to go to bed, darling. Going to take her to bed. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay. So, right back after this word from our sponsor. I can see that this is going to take a little bit longer than. But you're running away. You're running. Now you're tripping over all the cables and pulling everything down. Yeah, I know.
Josie, would you like me to bring you a piece of
Let me
cheese?
move that over there. Okay, I'll reach over here and move these cables so that people don't trip over them. Oh dear. One day there will be no cables anywhere and everything will just be connected like that. And the world will be a beautiful place. Right. I should probably move over a little bit. Because I think this is going to take much longer than she thinks, right? I think it's going to take much, much longer. So, we talked about the bandwagon effect. You tend to believe... Is that you back already? No? Cheese.
There's more in the fridge.
More cheese. More what? Nobody ever tells me anything around here, right? So bandwagon effect. Yeah, other people think it's great, so you tend to go with the flow. Moves, jam the mic up, barakti disco. So, are you back already? I feel like I'm having deja vu. Mommy? Mommy?
Yes?
I don't know what she's saying. What's she saying? I don't. I've had a lot of experience, but I don't speak that kind of kiddie language that they obviously do. Oh, darling, you've changed your dress. Wow. You look nice.
Yeah, this jumper, and I was wearing this under it.
Oh, you were wearing that under it. Wow, it's bright and beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love it. Wow. That's nice. That's super cool. See you later. Right. She's off. That's away. So, bandwagon effect. How do you get over this bandwagon effect? Well, listen to the voice inside your own head, or the voice inside your stomach. Your gut. What does your gut tell you? What would your opinion be if you didn't know what other people were thinking about it? So that's one way to get around the bandwagon effect. You trust yourself. Trust yourself, your own ideas, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own beliefs. You've got to, like that Fleetwood Mac song, you've got to go your own way. You go your own way. What a great song that is. Anyway, right.
What's number 6?
Number 6 is the...
How long have we been on? I can't see.
It doesn't
say.
You can't see because it's not there. We've been on for about 2 weeks as far as I can work out. This is show 11. This is show number 11. We've created
11.
11.
To the Scottish thing.
What the accent? What?
Yeah.
11. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
11 videos.
11. We've created 11 over 11 hours of content. I think that's amazing.
That's exhausting.
Right.
Imagine watching it all at once.
Well, I think it's really positive for people. That's why I think
That's
it's great that we've created that much. What is she saying?
I don't.
All I can hear is "Mommy."
I don't know.
Okay, so.
What's number 6?
Well, the thing I wanted to point out was.
Just point away.
Okay, I'm distracted because she just keeps repeating this. Hi, darling. So, well, you just whacked me on.
Sorry, I almost fell off the chair.
Are you drunk?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Is that has it been pre-chewed?
Thank you.
Yes, it has.
Pre-chewed cheese.
Okay.
Right. Right. Like we were watching some episodes of a new series. Won't say which one. Won't give it away just yet. Last night, right? And those episodes were 20 minutes long, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the whole season is 8 episodes, right?
And we've seen 3.
And we've seen 3, right? And so that's just over 2.5 hours of content they created, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it probably took them like 6 months plus, right?
Yeah,
And
but it was so funny. We're not as funny though.
Yeah, but that's
We
all
don't
scripted.
sing.
That's all scripted. I mean, we're just off the cuff. It's just me and you, as we are, every day. No B-U-L-L. So that's... Oh, hello, we've got another one coming.
Wanna come
You
up
can come up here and join us. Too heavy for this.
What's up?
You gonna listen?
Jazzy's new clothes.
Where are Jasmine's new clothes? In the wardrobe.
Jasmine got new clothes.
You know the part where you
the
hang
bed.
your clothes?
No, it doesn't mean anything.
I've put them just under all those hanging clothes on the shelf.
I
Go have a look.
I was walking around earlier, and as you do around the flat where you live, right? And I found all this stuff, this creative pack of stuff. What's all this about?
Your mum sent it. Your mum sent a parcel.
Oh, well, how come I never? No, nobody tells me anything. I'm gonna cry.
Well, would you like to do some scrappity booking?
What is it? What
It's
is it? What does it get?
scrapbooking material.
What is scrapbooking? Because some people don't know what.
Scrapbooking.
Look, Americans and homeschoolers kind of know what scrapbooking is, but most of the rest of the planet has no idea what someone means when they say it.
Everybody knows scrapbooking. You take beautifully, colourfully
Black and white.
ish pieces of paper and you create a little book and you print out some photographs and you basically make a photo album, create a photo album, and then you embellish it with lots of embellishments, stickers and bows
design,
and glitters and
words.
and frilly bits and stuff.
Is that a girly thing? It's like girls scrapbook, but boys don't, or do
Well,
boys do it as
I
well?
don't think boys scrapbook. No,
Would that be weird?
that would be slightly weird.
Why? Why can't boys get pictures of like footballers and I don't know,
Actually, I
comic
imagine,
book characters and,
I imagine they could do that.
and
Yeah.
historical figures or something? You know, I think.
It was in one of those
What's-
films we've seen.
Hello? What's going on?
She's got a badge.
She's embellished herself.
Yeah, she has a wee red badge on her dress. She stuck one of the stickers that came in the pack on her dress.
Okay.
We've seen that movie about
When does all this stuff happen?
the person. It was must have been a Hallmark movie. It was that modern woman that came to was Alaska.
All the stories are the same, just
Yeah.
with different actors.
And I remember this old lady that scrapbooked all the time. So it's that kind of thing.
Okay.
It's a lady thing.
It's a girl thing. See, that's probably why I don't know about it, right? So,
Sure, you can fish them out.
okay, can we get back to the point? Because we've been derailed.
We've been
By-
derailed all day today. Sorry,
But
people.
Jazzy decided to go to bed by herself.
Thankfully. Or not.
I spoke too soon.
Yeah.
She's back. Oh, Will, don't do that when your sister's there.
You're gonna
please.
whack her.
Give her. Yeah, she's gonna end up whacking you.
No, that's mommy's.
Oh,
Oh.
thank you. That's very nice of you.
She's
Thank you,
tidying up and
darling.
organising things. Right. This is a sign that all chaos is going to.
You know, she lied to me today.
Oh, she was practicing this morning. She was practicing lying to me this morning.
Yeah.
She would pick up something and put it behind her back and say, "I don't have it."
She lied to me. She did the usual lie, but it is so blatant today that I
The
just had to
usual lie.
laugh.
What is the usual lie? Don't know
The usual lie is, Jasmine, you pooped. No,
oh, that's
Jasmine,
not a big thing.
I
though,
can
is it?
smell it. No, I peed. I didn't poop.
She says that.
Yeah, she, you know,
Why would you lie about something like that?
because you want to avoid the consequence. Because she hates changing the poop nappy.
Oh,
She
okay.
hates me washing her butt.
I don't think
she
anybody
wants to.
likes it.
Well, me washing their butt. How shocking.
Avoid the obvious comments.
Anyway,
Okay.
yeah, so, you know, to avoid it, she thinks, in her logic, she thinks that if she says
Well-
it's not true, it's not true.
Chill. You've had the whole day to be Spider-Man. Right. Okay. Find a seat that's comfortable. Sit in it and chill.
Anyway, I thought it was quite positive, you know, because I think it's a sign of some kind of social intelligence building up there. I think lying by a certain age is alright. You know, like by the age of 5 when they...
What do you mean lying is alright? Where'd you get that from?
It's
never
natural for children
natural,
of that
it's not.
age. For children of that age, it's the obvious thing to do, right? I want to avoid a nappy change, so I'm going to say that I didn't poop. I mean, isn't that obvious? Isn't that logical? So anyone would do, right? And they don't understand that it's morally wrong, and they can't understand that it's morally wrong until they're at least, well, maybe 5 years old.
Yeah, but they can only tell lies if lies have been modelled to them, which is not a good thing.
I don't think that's true.
Wait a sec. Will, could you close the door, please? Because we can hear the lightsaber. Whack. Will, could you close the door for us, please, mate? Thank you very much.
I think they can. I think they don't have to be modeled that. I think they can work it out by
Will,
themselves.
could you close the door for us, please? Thank you. Ha. 3 times. You have to say everything 3 times. 3
And
is magic number.
that's normal as well. Anyway, so I don't think you have to necessarily model everything for them to pick up certain types of behaviors. I think some things are just natural.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not kind of... It's not a good sign to me if the kid is lying.
At this age, I am not concerned.
Okay.
If she was 5 years old and if Zora lies, then it's something that needs to be addressed, in my opinion, because she's old
how
enough
does it
to.
get to that point anyway? How does it get to that point? Well, here's a thought about that subject, right?
Mhm.
Because it's a really important subject.
Mhm.
You know how you're told in a sort of religious context, always tell the truth.
Mhm.
There's kind of a little bit of bull in there, right?
Of course, nobody always
There's
tells the
kind
truth.
even though I don't know, I can't make absolute statements like that. I can't say that nobody always tells the truth, because that's too much an absolute statement. I'm not sure.
Okay, I don't know everybody in
yeah,
the world,
yeah,
but
exactly. It's too much of
people,
an absolute statement.
Most people lie.
But the point I want to make,
Mm-hmm.
it's bad. This tells you a lot about society when most people lie. The point I want to make is the truth is something that needs to be, or has to be earned. The truth has to be earned, right? Because it's based on the principle of trust, and trust has to be earned, right? If somebody wants the truth from me,
Mm-hmm.
I have to know that I can trust that person.
Mm-hmm.
So the truth has to be earned. It's not something that you can just say to anyone at any point in time. Right? You've got to know that the person is not going to do anything bad with the information that you're going to give them.
It works very much like that with children as well. If you want children not to lie to you, they have to trust that you're not going to judge them, or that you're not going to punish them, or,
Mm-hmm.
they have to know that they're safe telling you the truth.
Yeah, they need your respect in that situation. And,
Yes.
and very often the person needs to know that they're not going to suffer for telling the truth.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why whenever Will ever told me anything negative, I never said, I never told him off.
Okay.
I would explain to him very gently
Mm-hmm.
if it wasn't a good thing, why it wasn't a good thing, and he would always take it. But I'm always careful not to tell him off for telling the truth, because I have my own experiences. So.
of problems with telling the truth.
I would lie when I was a kid. I would lie all the time just so I don't get into trouble with, at home.
What were you doing that you got into trouble?
I don't know. Things that I wasn't supposed to do. I don't know.
I don't believe that. No, I don't know. If it's such an important thing
For
that you have to tell
example-
lies, how can it be possible that you don't know? I don't get that.
Because again, like in the example before, there was a lot of times. Okay.
So many
It's hard
times you
to
lied.
Pick
that you
one. Okay. For
well, that's
example.
not a good example of a good environment, is it?
For example, I would stay out later than I was allowed to, right?
Okay.
And then I would lie about it, or I would lie about what happened, or I would make up some kind of excuse, or I wasn't allowed to go somewhere and I would go there anyway.
And where did you want to go, and why were you not allowed?
I remember one situation, for example, where I wouldn't be allowed to go with my friend to visit her grandmother, right? Because, it was their family time, and even though my friend invited me, my mum probably wasn't sure if that was okay with her parents or whatever, and she's like, no, just don't go. Just
Why didn't your mother call her mother and check it?
I don't know. What are you asking me for? I don't know. Anyway, I wasn't allowed.
No.
Okay.
This is really important. I mean, this is something that obviously
Maybe it
caused
was
a lot of pain and caused you to lie, and maybe there was some hurt involved as well. And
Maybe
it's not
was,
logical. I mean, this is something it's one of those parenting things that should be explored, really.
I don't know, but the point is that I
Well,
went.
If you don't know and you were in the middle of it, who else does know? If you're right in the middle of the situation, you're the key player, you're the key actor, you're the key character, right? You're the person that's telling the lie, you're the person that's going through the whole emotional experience, you're the person that wants something out of it, and you're just like, I don't know. I mean, that strikes me as unresolved and affecting the present.
It's not. It's one of the things that I remember from my childhood, but it's not. I wouldn't call it a traumatic experience or anything like that, because there was a lot of these little,
You wouldn't call it a
things.
traumatic experience, because there were probably many more.
But I did. Anyway, that's not the point, okay? The point is that would be a situation in which I would lie, okay? I would do something that I wasn't supposed to do, and then I would lie about it. So, because I knew that I wasn't supposed to do it, and I knew that if I said the truth, I would probably be in trouble, okay? I would get some kind of a punishment. Maybe not allowed to watch television or whatever else. Okay? So I think that kids lie when they know that.
Will, can you close the door for us, please? Thank you. Okay. Can I make a kind of point of note here? You cannot analyze why the kids lie until you first psychoanalyze why you lied.
But I told you why I lied. I know exactly why I lied.
But you also said, I don't know many times to a lot of questions.
I said, I don't know why mother didn't talk to the other mother. But that has nothing to do with the reasons why I lied.
Well, it does have everything to do, because she could have solved the problem. And so that there wouldn't have to be any lying if she'd been intelligent and solved the problem. Picked up the phone. It's not difficult to pick up the phone and call somebody.
Maybe.
If you care.
I don't know. Maybe she... I don't know. Maybe she knew something that I didn't know. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe she just didn't want me to leave town with somebody else, okay? Because her grandmother lived in a village.
Yeah, but this affected you emotionally. And it's still difficult for you to talk about it today, so it's obviously an important thing.
What do you mean it's difficult for me to talk about it? I just told you about it.
We will explore this topic at a future point. Moving on.
I just rolled my eyes at you in the camera.
It's real. Welcome to reality. Welcome to real parenting with real issues and real discussions. This is not scripted. This is not written by somebody else. This is, this is your heart on your sleeve, basically. Which is why you need to join in with the discussion, and you need to. You need to bring in other people as well. Share this with other people. Have an open discussion. Talk about it. Share your experiences. Share your feelings.
My point is that in parenting, you use empathy, right?
Right.
If you want to do good, you use a lot of empathy. And that's what I'm using in this situation. Okay? Because I know what it was like to be a kid. Okay? I know what my kids are going through. So I know how to prevent certain situations. That's the whole point.
I think it's a generally positive outlook on it.
Thank you.
There we go. Right. We can agree to nod. We can agree to nod. We can nod on it. Nod on it. Like those little dogs in cars.
Okay.
Right.
I feel like we've been on forever.
Well, we have. I told you we've been on for 2 weeks. Right. We've created more content in 2 weeks than the average TV show does in a year.
Stop bragging and stuff.
I love it. I think it's great. I think it's good to be positive.
Just been bragging all day.
No brag, just fact. There we go. Dunning-Kruger effect. What's going on? Dunning. There was a lot of
Jasmine says, I want to eat something, and Zora says, but you have to do something to earn it. And Jasmine says, I don't want to do something, and Zora says, like, kiss me. And now Jasmine is lying on the floor saying, I don't want to kiss you.
Oh my god.
There you go. I don't know where they get that from.
Can't imagine. I mean, no, never. We never use any language like that. Right. This is on the camera is what you get to see. Off the camera is much wilder. Right. We are going.
Sorry.
To get 6 done.
Okay, we'll do.
We'll do one more because there's 9 in the list, but if we get to 6, I'll be chuffed.
Damn. Sorry.
What? Okay. I'll be damn. What does that mean?
Yes.
What's that mean? I don't even know what that means. Right. Dunning-Kruger effect. I've said that about 5 times and not added anything to it. Hi Marcella, welcome to the conversation.
Hi.
We're talking about cognitive biases and thinking biases, classic thinking mistakes that parents and people make all the time. The effect that we're talking about, the 6th effect, is that unskilled people overestimate their ability and experts doubt themselves. Right? So you can think that your parenting is great, but really you don't have the skills and the experience to effectively judge that yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can be really good at it, but be nervous because you know that you don't know.
Well, that's
There's
when you
always
get better.
more information. There's always more that you don't know.
I mean, that's why you get better, because you doubt what you know. If you don't doubt what you know, you can't get better, because you don't learn. Because you don't have the motivation to learn more.
Yeah, but then if you go with the philosophy that all I know is that I don't know, it's really hard to make any decisions or take any control of a situation, because you always realize that every time you open a new door, there's so much information there that you realize
you
there's
just
things you don't know.
You just go with what you know, and you know that there are things that you don't know, and that you can learn more, so you learn more.
Mm-hmm.
You know that there's always going to be room for growth, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I don't think it makes you, I don't think it paralyzes you, you know? I don't think it makes you not make decisions or not take action.
Yeah, do what you can where you are with what you've got.
Exactly.
And then but don't let that be the end of things, you know. Keep working, you know, keep learning. I think that in my experience 90% of the parents that I know don't work very much on their parenting skills. They don't think of it as something that they need to actually work at, because they just are parents and that's it. They forget that there's a lot of time and effort and energy involved. Well, that's what it seems to me like from the outside anyway. I mean, who knows what happens behind closed doors?
Well, I talk to mums a lot, right? So I know that
That's a group of
there's
mums.
there's a lot of great mums out there who always think before they tackle certain problems, and they always, you know, try to find out what would be the best way to deal with certain issues that they have, why these issues arise. Like, for example, lying, okay?
Mm-hmm. Don't women do that much more than men? I mean, I've heard very few of these conversations on the male side. I've heard very few times that, like one man's gone to another man and say, "Mom, my kid is lying and I don't know what to do about it. What would you do about it?" or something like that. I mean,
there must be something about that manly pride. Like, oh, I don't have any problems. What?
It's just,
do you have any problems? I don't have any problems.
We've
I'm a
run
man. I can handle anything.
we've run out of beer.
Yes, yes.
Well,
Bring me the belt.
strap it on.
Yeah. Kid's lying. He'll think twice about that.
Oh, I don't even go there. That's just makes me
I know.
cringe just thinking about stuff.
That's a
like
horrible stereotype. Sorry.
that. Right.
Sorry.
Um.
It's not what I think about people of male
Anyway, yeah, the
gender
Dunning-Kruger effect is what affects like what affects society politically in terms, right? Because you know, people who think they know what's best for everybody get into power, and I'm not sure that anybody knows what's best for everybody, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of experts. There's
yeah,
a lot of experts on the internet.
Expert. Oh, that riles me, right? That's another thing that riles me. Experts say.
You know, there's this thing when I register with like new agencies and
for work,
places for work for translation. Yeah,
right.
You often have these questionnaires that you have to fill in, right, about your skill sets, and sometimes they would.
Are you an expert?
Yeah, sometimes they would put in these, like, you know, languages, French, and then you have these little things like, okay, beginner, advanced, intermediate, and expert. And I always look at that expert and I'm thinking, well, I'm pretty good, but I'm not sure if I'm an expert, right? And I never know whether I should take an advanced or expert, because I think my English is alright, but expert is a bit too, it's like, I don't know everything.
It's a bad question.
It's a bad question. I don't know everything about
because if
the topic.
Because it doesn't give the information that the employer or the agency is looking for, right? They can only tell by examples of your work, not by your opinion of yourself.
Obviously, yes.
So it's not really fair to ask that kind of question. So overcoming the Dunning-Kruger effect, take everything with a pinch of salt, right? And I think we've already been through it in this conversation. Beware of absolutes. Anyone who makes absolute statements of "there's nothing better than this" or I don't know. What would be an absolute statement? You made one earlier, didn't you? And I said I'd agree with that because it's absolute.
Nobody ever does this.
Nobody ever. Everybody always does something. Just beware of statements like that. You can, beware that there are statements similar to that which are true as well. Which is like I've never had that experience. Okay, it's a similar thing, but there's more truth in that, right? I often say to people that I've never had that kind of experience in my life, but I can appreciate the fact that other people have, and so they have a different perspective because they've had a different experience naturally. Right. We've
Anna finished.
The film finished. So we've done this all the way through the film.
So we're gonna have to finish.
And I still haven't seen the film all the way through. I've only seen like little bits here and there. It's a kind of parenting thing, right? I mean, you never get to see the whole film basically. And we didn't even get through all nine of the biases. So what I'll do
because we've been talking a lot about.
That's the whole point. Well, we can't be quiet, can we?
In depth of the things.
Yeah, we went into real examples. So I think what I'll do is I'll find the graphic and I'll add it under the conversation on the net so that people can check it for themselves. I'll do that later this evening.
Okay.
And then you'll get to read about the 6 biases that we talked about: the confirmation bias, the halo effect, the Hawthorne effect, the negativity bias, the bandwagon effect, the Dunning-Kruger effect, and the 3 that we didn't get to: the idea effect, the outcome bias, and the planning fallacy. So these are the things that you need to know about. If I think you want to be a good parent, I think you need to at least, maybe you understand about it already, you just don't know the terminology connected with it. A lot of people understand it automatically. So please check it out. Right. Also check out the daily free email that goes out. It's on my Facebook page. Today I was talking about what we discussed very briefly yesterday, the Pygmalion effect and the Golem effect, and how that affects education and teachers and students. So please read that. I think that's really useful. Once again, we're always looking for suggestions. We would like you to come to us with questions. We've got lots of stuff we can talk about, but we want to know what you need to know. So, and you have to communicate to us in order for us to give that to you. It's a two-way thing. It doesn't work if we just pour out, and you guys don't come back to us. It doesn't work, right? You've got to give us some feedback. Otherwise, we're going to go away and find something else to do. Otherwise, we're just going to sit and watch musicals all evening, basically.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Oh, right.
Why don't we just go and do that now? Because I'm about ready.
You're about ready?
Yeah. I love talking to everybody over there in the world of internet.
There's only one, I think. Sorry, I'll shut up.
But
I could feel I could see the.
You could feel my wrath.
I could feel your fist in my face.
No. Yes. So.
No. Yes.
As much as I enjoy this.
Favorite statement.
No,
do you like it? No, yes, maybe.
So yes, we'll be happy to see you again tomorrow. I might get into maybe get into a bit more talking tomorrow because I've got some topics that I'd like to discuss.
I don't know anything about what she's talking about. So
and
it's going to be a surprise for me as well.
we'll see you later, everyone.
Yeah, this is.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah,
if
we
you have
really
watched us,
appreciate it. Share.
appreciate it.
Like if you find us on Facebook, that's great. Please share it there. If you catch up with us on YouTube at a later point in time, because we're archiving anything on YouTube, then leave a comment.
And if there are any topics
subscribe.
that interest you, you can just suggest.
And
anything
click
that
your
you
click.
like.
Don't just click your fingers. Write something as well. Put in a bit of effort there. That's it. That's about it. This is J
Okay, darling.
and G.
That's my letter.
Signing off for this evening. We're being too silly now to do anything more practical. It's been fun, and wherever you are, have a great morning, afternoon, evening. Make the best of the rest of the day and enjoy stuff. Stay cool, guys.
Good night.
And be practical.